to look at. All right, so let's pull this up. So sorry that it's moving. Let's see here. So I told you guys that I wanted to go live more this year on YouTube, and here I am going live. So I hope that you guys will get on here and ask me some questions about how to sell your wreaths, how to sell your crafts. Talk about crafting. Do you have a crafting question for me that I can answer? Hi, Karen. I saw Karen one day. We live in the same area and we saw each other at Hobby Lobby. That was so much fun. So hi everybody. Hi Sandy. Hi Araceli. Let's see. Araceli. I think I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. All right. I'm going to see if I can bring you up here. Oh good, I can. All right, I can read your comments a whole lot better here, so that's good. All right, how is everybody tonight? So one of my goals this year is to go live more, and not only just go live over on Facebook, but here on YouTube as well, because this is where I've built a really strong community. And I love that you guys are all saying hi. I love it. Thank you so much for hopping on. It's been a long day. I've been working all day. You guys want to see, this is a wreath that we're not going to do for a few more weeks. Do you still want to see it? Do you? Are you sure? So let me know. Miriam, you're from Sterling Heights, Michigan. That's not far from me at all. I'm in Macomb Township. So yeah, you're close. But there's Sylvia's from Michigan. Maybe someday we need to do a meetup in Michigan. Maybe Ohio and Michigan. You guys can all come see me. What about that? That would be so much fun. Okay, yes, you guys want to see it. Okay, got Ohio. Karen, let's see. All right. Okay, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. All right. So I got inspired by some mesh, and I will show you the colors. This is the wreath. Isn't she beautiful? Okay. Do you like this? Guess what? It's not going to be for a few more weeks. So I'm so sorry. But I wanted to show you what I've been working on tonight. I literally just finished it. But we will have that, I want to say, the week after the Super Bowl. So what is that? That is February 16th. So I think that's February 16th wreaths. I'm working ahead because we're going out of town soon. So we're going to not be home. So I need to get everything done, right? I can't leave you guys wondering. So does anybody have any questions for me? So one of the things that I want to share with you guys more is my knowledge about social media and business online. Because yes, you come here to watch me make these beautiful wreaths and crafts and everything, but I also want you to be able to come to me and ask me questions like how to sell your items or where you're having a problem with, because I can help you with that, okay? So let's see, Bobby wants the date, so I will be sure to tune in. February 16th, that will be up, okay? We're going to do one more Valentine's collage video this weekend, and then you have the Super Bowl, and we're going to do a flower wreath we did over on Amazon, but a lot of you guys haven't seen it, so we're going to do it then. But how much to sell them for? Penny is asking, you're asking for how much you sell your wreaths. Now, did you watch last week's live? We went live here on a week ago. So if you go back to my channel and watch that, I go through all that because I go through it in such a way, because a lot of times I feel like a lot of creators, and you are one of them, you're kind of shortchanging yourself. Does that make sense? And so it's not as simple as saying, oh, you just, whatever the cost of your product, you 3 times that. And I've heard that that saying or that thought process for years, and I just simply disagree. So let me see. We can go over it really, really quickly. So basically, you need to keep in mind that you have your product, and whatever your product is, whatever, let's just say you have $10 in your product. Let's just keep it really simple. But it takes you 2 hours to make. right? And then you got to put in the time that you put in to come up with a design, to go buy the products, to package it. And then by the time you sell it and take out all the fees, you've made $15 for 2 hours worth of actual work time, not alone the time you went to go get it. So my whole point is find the price that it costs to make a wreath or a product, right? And then how much time that product takes to make. You need to come up with an income you want to pay for yourself. So I need to really, really get this to you. If everybody could do what you do, everybody would be doing it, right? They would. So don't pay yourself below minimum wage. Pay yourself a working wage, because what you have is a talent and what you have is an art, and you need to be compensated for that. And what I'd also like to tell you, and I go more in depth last week, is to get outside of your backyard and get online and go into Etsy and use social media to sell your product. And that's where I come in. I do have a subscription called group called Julie's Biz Boutique. If you guys want to know more about it, I can leave you a link down in the the chat here. But I want to be able to answer questions that you have. So let me look here and see if there is more. Oh yeah, there's more questions here. Why can't I see it though? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. Let's see. Craft Lily says, I want to sell my wreaths, but not on Etsy. Where can I go? That's not a store. Can I do it on do a .com or sell on Spotify? Yes, absolutely. You can always a Shopify, not Spotify. I'm sorry. Spotify is a listening platform and Shopify is a website platform. Number one, yes, you can build your own website and you can use Shopify to do that. There's a lot of different sites that will help you do that. Even GoDaddy.com has a way to help build a website. But there's a site called Go Imagine, and it is for just artists, creatives. And it doesn't let any digital products in. It doesn't let any, bulk products, selling craft supplies. You have to be an artist. So there's a place to sell there. Michael's Maker Place. So if you know the Michael's Craft Store, they have a online selling platform for creatives, and they will even give you affiliate links for if you're like teaching how to make something on their site. They will give you you don't need to be sorry. I have Spotify too. It's probably just a typo. But that's another thought. So goimagine.com. It's a newer startup. And then I would look into Michael's Maker Place. But also, if you have the wherewithal to build a website, Shopify is a great place to start. I have a lot of friends that love Shopify and they use them in their e-commerce. So yes, you don't have to go on Etsy. Do I recommend Etsy? Yeah, but there's a lot of fees and stuff that you have to keep in mind. So, you have to take that all in account, right? So that's where, you have to drive your traffic to your website. So that's where you use social media, you make posts, you get people's attention, you show them what you have, and that's how you get people to follow you and to be a customer. And that's where I teach people how I got 1 million followers on Facebook, how we got to over 400,000 followers here on YouTube. There's a lot of different things that you can be doing, and that's where I love to help people. Let me see. I have another question. Is making a website expensive? It depends on how you do it. Okay. I made a website and yes, it was expensive. But I had a different kind of foundation and I wanted to really brand it in a different way. So I work with a website guy, and but all these places you can make a very easy e-commerce website where you just sell your products. Okay. On my site, I want to tell you about Julie's Biz Boutique. I want to tell you about Julie's Crafting Boutique. I want to tell you about YouTube. I want to tell you about my premium tutorials. I want to tell you about my affiliate links with all the great companies that I get to work with. But if you're just selling a product, you can use a site like Shopify, pay a monthly fee. They will help you step through the whole building your e-commerce site. Now, is it going to be super beautiful and awesome? Maybe not, but it's your website. So it's a great place to start if you don't want to go the Etsy route. But also consider Michael's Maker Place and go, I think it's Go Imagine. I hope I didn't tell you guys that wrong. I think it's Go Imagine. All right. Let's see. If you make a mistake in price estimates, do you just take the hit? Okay, Sharon. So here's the thing. There are times, and I have people. Hi, Melissa, from Northern Michigan. Up there is a time where it's kind of a learning curve, right? So if you're putting out, let's just say, a product, and you did what Etsy said. And what does Etsy say? Oh, give free shipping. Drives me nuts, okay? You can't do free shipping for everything because you're not Amazon, you're not Walmart, right? So you got to do one of two things. You either have to work that shipping cost into your product, right? So that makes your product's price higher. Or you charge an estimated shipping, like you think it's going to cost around $15 to $20. And then you could also do a calculated shipping, all right? So then you get kind of bumped down Etsy's ranks, right? Down their algorithm. But here's the thing. I have had many people in my biz boutique ask me, oh my goodness, I took this hit on this one. Well, take a hit once, but don't take a hit twice. A lot of times people people in the crafting world will, do what Etsy suggests, which is great business for Etsy, not so much for you, right? And then they learn that somebody, if you're in Virginia and somebody in California bought your product, then it was a big shipping cost. And a lot of people are like, I owed money after all my fees. And after Etsy promoted it for me without my permission, then they took another 10 to 12% or 15%. And then I've had to pay the fees for the listing, the fees for the credit card, and all this stuff. So here's the thing. Once that happens once, don't let it happen again. So that is either you have to raise your prices, you have to do different shipping, and you really have to make sure that you understand that Etsy is not doing this for you. Etsy is not going to sell your products. Yes, they have an algorithm. It's great, whatever. But if you want to sell your products, then you need to use your own social media to do that. And that's where social media comes in. That's where I come in and I help with people. So if you're looking for a business group, my business group is a great place for that. Julie's wreathboutique.com, and it's got Julie's Biz Boutique and Julie's Crafting Boutique on it too. Let's see here. Do we have some more questions? So, in the price estimate. So, you'll get better at what you do the more you sell. But also, I feel like a mistake that a lot of people make is they don't figure out what sells well for them. And then they're spinning their wheels trying to figure it out. Okay. So I'm going to use myself, for instance. So when I first started making Wreaths and trying to make money to help my family, I was buying a lot of supplies. So I started in the last quarter of 2015. And so what happened was I was excited. We invested about $500 into this little venture. Really, $500 we didn't have, but we did it anyway. And I started selling some things locally, and I got an opportunity at kind of like a craft show / girls' day out show, and sold stuff there. And so by the end of that quarter of 2015, I got all the receipts together, to figure out where we stood on our taxes, because my husband's idea for me to start a business was that we would just lose money and then we could claim that as a loss on our taxes. I know. You'd have to know my husband, all right? He's a little different in his thinking here. So, anyways, I got to January and I did the receipts, and when I did it all, I was just like, oh my goodness. I brought in $3,000. Great, right? Wonderful. I was so excited. I was a stay-at-home mom, had two littles, had two big kids, and we were just making it week to week. And when I did that receipt check, okay, all right, I realized that I had brought in $3,000, but I had spent $2,500. So I only made 500. Okay. So that was a big knock to my ego because I was so excited. I was so pumped because I was finally making money and people were buying stuff that I made. Now, if you go back and look at the very beginning, if you could even scroll back to the beginning of my page on Facebook, which I don't think you can, but it would take you way too long. A lot of those wreaths were hot messes, but for some reason, people were still buying them. I have no idea why. Maybe because we didn't have a lot of wreaths up here in Michigan. I have no clue. But here's the thing. What I did figure out after that point was to find what people liked and focus on that. And for me, that was a flower wreath. Okay. That was a wreath similar to this, but like with poly burlap. I was making a sunflower wreath, right? So once that got started and I got an opportunity that I never thought I'd get on a blog, and I shared a tutorial, and then it ended up on goodhousekeeping.com and on another popular website. And then I got an offer from a magazine they asked me, can you do this for a Christmas edition? And I said yes. But with all that said, once I honed in on what I was good at and what people wanted to buy, my costs went down because I knew exactly what I could make out of a sunflower wreath, right? So I knew what my prices were going to be, and then I knew exactly how long it was going to take me. And then you have to just take that all in account and you'll get better at it. And so I believe the first full year, I made around, I think I sold about $25,000. 25,000 to 35,000. I can't remember exactly. It may have been 37,000. But that was my first full year just selling on Etsy. And so that's why I want to encourage you, because now I'm sitting in a studio, um, and our lives have drastically changed from 9 years ago. And so that's where my passion is, not only to help you learn how to make beautiful things, but how to sell them and how to use it on social media. Let me look here. How do you have the person pay online? Karen wants to ask. Well, Karen, there's a couple of ways. You can get a PayPal account and you can invoice people. If, like, for instance, say somebody in Ohio wanted to buy your wreath and you needed to ship it to them, you can set up a business account on PayPal, and then you can send them an invoice, and then they pay that invoice, and then PayPal helps you even do a shipping label. Now with Etsy, if you were on Etsy or Michael's Maker Place or Go Imagine, then they handle that, but then you have to pay the fees that go along with it. So that's pretty much how that works. Let's see. When you are just starting out, what's the best way to start? Should you do freestyle or customized projects? Okay. Really, it depends. Okay, so here's the thing. This is kind of my business model. Whenever you make something, if everything is just a one-off, like you make that one particular product and you can't get the supplies and it's a one of a kind, right? When you're first starting out and doing that, that's going to be a hard way to make money, because here, at least for me, it was. Because for me, I spent way too much time trying to come up with a design. So that's where you really need to kind of hone in on, okay, what can I make that doesn't cost a lot of money? Maybe it's a smaller item and then I work my way up. But you really need to kind of take an account of what it is that you do. If you're a painter, if you paint signs, you can repaint the same sign over and over. But if you are an artist and you do a special painting, like of a landscape or something, that might be a one-off. So when I did the flower wreaths, I knew I had back then in 2016, I had about $17 or $18. And at first I was only charging $49 for them. And then I was getting so many orders, I had to jump that up. So I went to 59, and then it went up to 69, and then it went up to 79. So you just kind of have to find what is your passion. That's really what my main question is. It wreaths? Is it making tumblers? Is it painting signs? Is it sharing your love for making a certain product? You know, there's more ways, and this is the way I figured it out. I figured out that there was only so many wreaths I could make a year. So there was a ceiling of how much money I could make by just doing wreaths. And that's where I started branching out into tutorials, and then YouTube. And so of course I make money on YouTube. Then I got opportunities to get affiliate links. I have an Amazon storefront and a Walmart storefront, and I've been able to work with a lot of different companies, and you guys have all seen that over the years. And then a couple years ago, I started Julie's Biz Boutique, and it's a monthly group, and it's a weekly training that we talk about business, we talk about social media. I tell you what you need to do. And we get down to the nitty gritty. And then I started Julie's Crafting Boutique to offer you all a different experience in crafting and have more of a, not one-on-one experience, but a little bit more of an experience to get to know who I am and help with crafting and stuff. So I love to do that. But there's so many different ways than just to make a product to make money. And then it comes with social media. Did you know that, you know, you can make money on Facebook, you can make money on Instagram, you can make money over on TikTok. So there's a lot of different ways to make income through your business. So it doesn't have to be just a product. And I get a little bit talky, so I'm sorry. Let's see. Sylvia says, for my classes, should I buy in bulk and stockpile before I start, or order as I go? You know, Sylvia, if you know that you're going to have a lot of classes, and when I did that, I would order from the wholesaler. I would order from Craig Bachman, but you had to put in big orders because you're basically, if one thing of mesh, you had to buy a whole case of it, right? So it just depends on what you're making, and it depends on what you can get booked. And then, yes, it will be an investment for you up front, but you need to be using your social media and your contacts, whoever's wanting to have those classes, to get people to fill those seats, because we need to make money. You don't want to lose anything. Let's see. Okay. How do you reason? Let's see. I don't have my glasses over here. It's a little harder for me to see right now. How do you reason to sell things you have already made to not lose money but still gain some kind of profit? Okay, so here's the thing. So you can either sit on, let's just use wreaths. You can either sit and have 50 wreaths that you cannot sell, that aren't selling. Or you can say, okay, I'm going to have an auction. I'm going to sell these at half the price. I'm going to get on social media and say, listen, guys, these, my loss is your gain, right? Have a coupon code for Etsy. Do a giveaway of sorts. But there's a lot of ways that you can kind of get around it. You could offer, okay, guys, I got to get rid of this stuff. And you have to have space to make stuff, and you have to have income to pay for what you've already made. So if you have a bunch of items, okay, number one, if you've already tried Etsy and they're not selling, if you've already tried all that you know how to do, then consider going online and saying, okay, we're going to start the bidding at $15, and we're going to end the bidding at a certain date at a certain time, and that person is the person who purchased it. Okay. Let's see. But there's different ways to do it. Let's see. I'm just trying to find out. Okay, I want to make sure I get everybody's question. Do you have a background in floral arranging? No, I do not. I tell people on YouTube, I pretend that I'm, you know, I'm a florist, but I just play one on TV. Let's see. How do you find wholesalers? Well, it depends on what you're doing. So, like the first wholesaler that I would go with is Craig Bachman Imports, and that's in not Chicago, but outside of Chicago. But honestly, you just need to do the research. I don't order anymore from wholesale because all I do is just I'm a one and done with YouTube. I'm not filling orders or anything like that, so I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly that. But if it's like mesh and stuff, there are places. Craig Bachman is probably one of the bigger ones that you can get it through. Let's see. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. Karen said, I saw the Christmas tree you made for a coworker and I love it. Oh, really? Did they buy a Christmas tree for me? That would be an old Christmas tree. Because I haven't sold wreaths in years. How or what can I do to get paid when selling online? So, well, you have to be on an e-commerce platform to show your stuff, right? But if if somebody saw your stuff on Facebook, you can do Facebook has a way to get paid through there, so you can do that. But honestly, I would really encourage you to do it through Etsy, through Michael's Maker Place, one of those sites if you don't have a website, or use a your PayPal, an online like business PayPal. Let's see. I learned not to always make what I like because what I like, not everyone likes. You know what? You're absolutely true, Bob. That's a very true statement. This, for instance, okay? This is beautiful. I'll never put that on my front door. Never. Okay? It's not my thing. Now, this right here, I would put that on my front door. And I probably need to do more things that I love, right? So we did this the other day. Let me grab this right here. We did this in, let's see if you can see it. We did this in Julie's Crafting Boutique. I would put this on my front door. I like a good grapevine wreath. That's beautiful, right? So we did this. But not everything I make on YouTube would I personally love or want to do. Like here's a mesh wreath. We're going to see that on YouTube soon. I did it on Amazon Live, but I can take those Amazon Lives and put them on YouTube as well. I can edit it down. I'm not going to put that on my door because it's just not my thing. It doesn't mean that it's ugly. It doesn't mean that it's not pretty. It's just not my thing. So sometimes you're going to make things and you're going to get sick of them. Oh, Patty. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask you on the side. I have made things that I didn't like at all and they sold. There you go. And that's the truth. But listen, guys, it's almost 30 minutes and it was my desire to go live. If you guys haven't checked out Julie's Crafting Boutique or Julie's Biz Boutique, I want you to go over. Let me go find it really quick. And I'm going to give you the links here. One of the questions last week after after we got off, somebody asked me, how long have I been crafting? Well, that's a really good question. And I would probably say all my life, because I know you guys have seen me talk about my mom, and my mom died when I was 18. But she always crafted for Christmas, and I would always be her helper, and she would make crafts for all of her sister-in-laws and for people because we just didn't have a lot of money. And she loved to cross stitch, and she sewed a lot of my clothes. And in order to get those clothes or those pretty dresses, I would have to cut out the pattern. And so at 10 years old, I'm cutting out patterns. At 8 years old, I am. And so really my mom was what inspired me. And so I guess I've always been kind of crafty. Let's see, do I know of any craft stores near Alabama or in Alabama? No, I do not. I know there's a place called General Wholesale, but I don't know that that's in Alabama. That might be in Louisiana. That's stuff I need to get information on. That's a good question. How How do you film your production? I cannot figure out how to do that angle. Okay, I'm going to show you really quick here, okay? I'm going to move the camera. So I'm sitting at the table that I film at, okay? Ready? Let's see. I'm going to turn. Do you see this? That thing right there is just a camera holder, a phone holder, not a camera holder. And I have it connected to our drop ceiling in here. And so basically what I do is my camera, so here's my surface, okay? My camera is like this so that it's filming exactly what's down below me. That's all. I don't have an expensive camera. I mean, let's be honest, our phones are expensive, but I don't have an expensive camera that I use. And then I use Mac products so that I have a, behind this, there's an iMac, and I'm working on a MacBook right now. But I just personally like the Apple stuff because I can airdrop my clips, and for me, that is easy. So that's what I like. So anyways, but Allie says, "Hi Julie, I'm a beginner at making wreaths. I've done about 3 or 4, and my next project is for my husband's boss, his wife. I'm kind of stuck on what other ribbons to get that will match so far." It just depends on what you're making. You know, if it's a more neutral colored wreath, if it's a spring wreath, if it's oh, let's see. Have you ordered from the Wreath Shop or Trendy Tree or any of those places? Because those are good places that have really great, beautiful ribbon. So let me know and I'll get you my link if you need it. Let's see. Barbara says, I'm a newly and have learned so much from your videos. Thank you. However, I would like to know how long to protect wreaths in all kinds of weather. How does it differ with different types of mesh and etc.? Okay, that's a really good question. Not all meshes are equal. And I know this might sound kind of like simple, but it really depends on which way your door is facing. So if your door is facing in the east, and the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west, you know, that sun is going to come up on it and be on it really harsh, right? If your door is facing the south, the sun isn't normal, it's not going to come right at your wreath. But then if it's on the west, you know, you've got that issue like you did on the east. My sister-in-law used to live in a house, and it didn't matter what I made her. The sun was so harsh and they didn't have a covered porch. I would make her poly burlap wreaths. I made her deco mesh wreaths. I made her burlap wreaths. Did not matter. Those wreaths disintegrated. So one of the things that I use is Rust-Oleum Clear Matte Spray. And it's a spray paint. It's clear, but it says UV resistant. Now it's not a UV like won't fade your wreath, but it will slow down the fading. Now you have to test the product, because if it's a different color mesh, you might get some white residue, and you don't want that. So you always want to test it. But that's what I've always used. Let's see. Allie says, I already got navy blue metallic deco mesh. I don't want to be nautical themed though. Colors like terracotta, blue, teal, pink, or fuchsia. Huh. It just, I don't know. I'd have to see the mesh, and I'd have to see what you're trying to go with. It's just an everyday wreath. Does it have a sign? Are you just doing a mesh wreath? Because if you're doing that, I would just take the colors and I would do a 2.5, like I would do 2.5 inches and at least 1.5 inch, or do a 4-inch ribbon, but that's really kind of hard to find. But I would do 2.5 inches in 2 different ribbons and like a 1.5 inch. That's what I would do. Yeah, that would be great. The Crafting Hoarder 24 says, an Alabama store is Bob's Wholesale, and I am from Alabama and can see if I can find out some more names. That would be great. You've got Spike's Wholesale in Geneva, Alabama. See, you guys are good. You know where to get this stuff. Okay, it's going to be a monogram. with the letter Z for her last name. Okay, then keep it more simple. If you know, because you don't know what she likes. So I would only do 2 colors. Just do 2 colors, and then don't go too many colors unless it's a neutral color to put in the ribbon. All right. See, I have O as my last name, and I feel like people just think that's a 0, and I can't do a monogram. It just isn't a very fun monogram. Z would be a fun monogram. It would. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this. I will try to go live again next week. But this is just one of my goals for 2025 is to get to know you better. So number 1, make sure you're following me here on YouTube. Number 2, which I think you all are because you're here, let's be honest. But make sure you are here every Sunday night watching the videos and let me know, okay? Let other people know they need to show up on Tuesdays, and I'll try to get a better routine for this as we go on, but I'm going to be out of town for a few weeks, so that'll be a little more difficult. You're so sweet. The Crafting Hoarder 24. All right, you're so welcome, Melissa. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing, and you're the reason why I'm sitting in my studio making wreaths for you, because if you didn't follow me and you didn't watch, I wouldn't be doing this. So I appreciate it, and much love to you all. Okay, we'll see you later. I got to figure out how to end this now. I guess I'm gonna hit this. Whoops. Yes, I want to end. All right, guys, bye.